So film like this makes me appreciate the brilliance of a film like Loka that much more. Hi guys, this is Farhad and welcome back to my channel Popcorn Reviews. If you're new to this channel, then please smash that subscribe button now. And as a video ritual, remember to like and comment on the video. Liking and commenting helps fuel the YouTube algorithm. Firstly, happy Diwali everybody, and may this year be prosperous and filled with happiness from the depth of my heart. Secondly, a life update. You may have seen that I had been on a little bit of a sabbatical after my Kantara review, and it was because of a medical scare that was there at my end. But thankfully, things are normal now, getting back to normal now. So you may see me a little more often than what you would have in the last 2 weeks, which was absolutely nothing. Thirdly, the film that we are going to be talking about is first of the two Diwali releases, the Hindi Diwali releases which are there. The film that we are going to be talking about is Thama, which is the new Maddock film that is there in the Maddock horror comedy universe. Now, first thing, if you would have to ask me about Thamma, which is by the way starring Ayushmann Khurrana, Rashmika Mandanna, Nawazuddin Siddiqui, it's a big star cast, okay, relatively a big star cast, directed by Aditya Sarpotdar. The first thing, if you would have to ask me, what is the conflict of Thamma, then I would actually be a little blank. And it just takes me, to certain films in this universe itself, in which something like a Stree that would actually have a social commentary on feminism, or something like even like a Bhedia that would actually be a horror comedy with a commentary on capitalism or capitalist industries which are there. So it had the politics in play, the conflict was in play throughout the film. Here, what is the conflict? And I would actually be blank about it, and this is a particular film that is not only in the horror comedy zone but also in the romantic zone. So it's a romance horror comedy, so to say. In that regard, I cannot tell you how generic the writing here is of Thama. It's absolutely generic. If I have to have one standout moment, that would be the cameo appearance and the cameo sequence that was, staged. That was really well staged here in Thama. There is a cameo appearance of a character who is also a part of this Maddock universe. And you actually see, the purpose of Thama in this universe in that one action block which is there, which is also presented really well. Unfortunately, on either side, it doesn't tell you a story, so to say, because it's a very generic kind of a film, very generic with its writing, with its template, with its folklore. It's nothing that you've not watched already or you don't know already, and I think that is the unfortunate part of this film. So coming to the story and screenplay, one thing that immediately stands out like a sore thumb in Thama is the characterization, and I can directly compare it with Loka, although Loka, now with spoilers I can say, dealt with vampires. In here it's the concept of a vampire but not exactly a vampire. I won't give out spoilers about what Thama is because it's just released today, but from the concept level itself, Thama just kind of felt very generic. I'm not saying it's train wreck, but I felt it was very, very, very generic with what it was wanting to say. Case in point being, if you remember the cold open of Loka, you just see it, you just are airdropped in that action sequence featuring the character of Chandra, which is there. But here, the opening sequence, you just see that you're just transported to 323 BC before Christ, and what you get is exactly what is shown in the trailer, so to say. You actually have people who are, a part of this universe, blood-sucking creatures, so to say, who make their presence felt in this very sequence. And that is, what the concept of the film is. If the concept of the film was held back, it was held back, not part of the marketing campaign, not part of any other campaign. If it was held back, it would actually have made a lot more sense here. Something that happened in Loka as well. Loka had exactly this concept wherein the folklore concept kicked in at the halfway mark with the origin story. Now, coming back to the characterization, when you are introduced to the character of, say, Ayushmann Khurrana, all we get to know is a journalist aspiring to have sensational news items, so to say. That is about it. What is his life outside the universe? You don't know that. That is something that is also true for the character of Rashmika Mandanna. That the character just randomly appears, but what is the origin story? You can't just have a fleeting reference from the past and actually tell an origin story that this is the origin of the character. No, you actually have to trace back the roots of the character to actually get what the story is about. And that is what the fault is as well. One of the biggest flaws again in the screenplay is the antagonist and how the character shapes up. When you notice, when you are introduced to the character of the antagonist, he is actually chained in an abandoned cave, and that restricts much of his movement as well. And much of the runtime, he's exactly in that same space. So, I mean, the character itself is tremendously underwritten, and that is something that absolutely doesn't really make sense in the screenplay of the film. Now, the screenplay also ventures into the romantic subplot, and the romance here is flat. It's almost aspiring to be the equation that Naslin had with Kalyani in Loka, the characters that Naslin and Kalyani played, Sunny and Chandra respectively. But here, the character of Alok and the character of Rashmika Mandanna, so to say, they both the characters here, they don't share proper chemistry at all. I mean, you don't even realize when the characters start getting attracted to each other, so you're not emotionally invested at any point of time in their characters, and so it makes very hard for you to invest in their journey and what it makes what it looks like. And as a result, even the romantic subplot extends itself and extends its welcome, preventing the face off between the protagonist and the antagonist to actually transpire. So when that happens, that is underwhelming as well. Even the supporting characters do not have much of a substance except a few moments here and there that will tickle your funny bone. The folklore on concept on paper may have been promising, but it did not necessarily translate on screen here, and I think that is such a shame regarding the story and screenplay here. Coming to the dialogues, the music and the direction, the technical aspects here, the dialogues here I feel are a little corny because they rely too heavily on the humor. So this is one film that instead of actually making an enticing origin story, it's actually invested in a comedy and a horror and trying to balance between the two, particularly the comedy that is there. The comedy here is almost deriving itself from the meme references which are there, and the meme references here often get stale, you can say. So the memes of today get stale tomorrow, and that is what the film suffers from, which is why the humor never really lands in the film. The music is good, but the song placements again are woeful, you can say, because none of the songs really make sense, and it's almost like a low hanging fruit or low effort that is put in to connect the dots as far as the songs are concerned in the story, in the screenplay. Although the songs are good, I like the songs here. And to have 3 item numbers in your marketing campaign when the universe partially did talk about feminism, that's something to ponder about, and it just doesn't add up in my head. I don't know how it added up in the marketing team's head, but it is what it is. Anyway, one thing that works in the film's favor, the positive here, is the sound design by Sachin Jigar. I think the sound design is exceptional. It elevates the impact of several scenes even when the scenes are woefully diluted. So if you are decently engaged in those sequences, it's because of the terrific sound design and the background score which is there, which is outstanding here. Likewise, the cinematography also adds grandeur to the drama. It has that visual effect, it has that vision of a very huge film which is there, and it just shows in the VFX also. VFX of the animals, which are relatively decent, I would say. I wouldn't say it's excellent, but it's still good by Indian standards. And in that regard, I think the cinematography works as well. The editing pattern is far too choppy for me, unfortunately. It doesn't wish to stay in the moment, it wishes to just jump from one moment to another, which is such a shame actually. The Aditya Sarpoda, the director who had previously tasted success with a film like Munjia, was given a huge opportunity here, and the pressure just showed here as far as I was concerned. The direction style was pretty safe here. He just played it safe, I would say. It's not completely a train wreck, but it's not great as well. It's somewhere in the middle, and the scenes weren't enhanced beyond the written material which was there, which is actually the story of this film here in particular. It's there but not there. It's kind of that middling film which is pretty average, so to say. So the direction also, as far as I'm concerned, is pretty average. What's surprising though are the performances. The performances here, I feel, are quite average by almost everybody. In some cases, like say a Faisal Malik or a Geeta Agarwal Sharma, they aren't given enough material in their characters that are there. So the characterization, because the characterization is restricted, their performances are also kind of restricted. Both of them are decent, I would say, but I've seen far better performances from both of these actors. I think even Paresh Rawal, in some moments he does score, he tries very hard to make you laugh, but comedy does land in a couple of sequences that actually crack me up. But overall, it was kind of flat, as I would say. It's kind of flat. The cameo though, the couple of cameos that are there are pretty good in this film, I can say that. And if the cameos are the only things that are good, the film is in trouble. Nawazuddin Siddiqui, I mean, he's such a great actor, but he hams and hams and hams here. I mean, I have seen far more intimidating performances in the form of Raman Raghav, in the form of some of the other work like Kick also. I think in a commercial film he was pretty good here. But here, otherwise, he just hams his way, and his character anyway is underwritten. So it just pains to say that no, he didn't leave a mark. Rashmika Mandanna suffers from the same fate. I think she's in creative jail, for God's sake. She has good expressions, looks pretty, but when she utters her dialogues, her dialect almost reeks of an aftertaste of Kannada, and that puts you off. It throws you off the emotions that are intended in the scene, and this is a consistent feature in her performance. It's not that it's erupted in this film, it's consistently there throughout, and I mean, that's something that she really needs to work on. I mean, the impact of her performance is severely reduced, making a performance just about average. Speaking about average, even Ayushmann Khurrana, who's otherwise a good actor, is literally, inconsistent here, I would say. The emotions don't land because the comedy is either here or either here. It's not the sweet spot that is needed to be, enthralled every single moment. And that's the bottom line for Ayushmann Khurrana as well. So overall, I feel that Thama is a middling horror comedy that, is actually has no heartbeat, so to say. It lacks the heart. And when you already have viewed a film like Loka, it's almost certain that you may not like it. And I'm just saying it because Loka is a far superior product at a lesser budget, and that is the reality that I was talking about in my video of Loka as well. Not in reference to Thama in that video, but it is a general trait that Bollywood needs to learn. Control your budgets, invest in writers, and you will see results. Here, the result isn't there as far as I'm concerned. It's a pretty generic kind of a film with traces of folklore. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's not a bad film, but it's not a great film. It's a middling film, average film. Not really recommended from my end, but if you choose to watch it, or if you have watched it, let me know in the comments on what did you make of it. And you can, if you're liking this video, remember to like that button. Alternately, you can dislike the video as well. Any engagement helps a small creator like me. I'll try to be regular from here, but for that you'll also need to share this video with your friends and family. Tell them I'm back on the channel, and you can share this video. You can subscribe to the channel. My detailed review of Thama is available on my site, Popcorn Reviews with a double S, the link of which is in the description box below. Do visit that as well. My also social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, Nokia, everything is there in the description box. You will find my caption reviews there, my detailed reviews with the rating on my site. You can read them in the language of your choice as well. Remember that. I'll see you again soon with another video. Till then, take care of yourselves and thank you so much for your love and support. Cheers.